Hello guys, today I'm gonna show you my game from Ljubljanska Liga, which I played extremely badly, and I will show it to you in order for you to play better. So I was playing against Bejic Chimcha, and I was playing with the white pieces. I opened the game with 1e4, he played e6, the French defense. I played the d4, and here, of course, the most logical move is to strike in the center and play d5. And then there are many lines that I could play, but my opponent played knight to f6, which is known as Mediterranean defense, and it's really bad, because now I can just play e5, and his knight must move. And this is like a worse version of Alieching defense, which starts after e4 and then knight to f6 and then you play e5. So anyway, I played e5 here, he played knight to d5, and here I was thinking for like 3 minutes, cause of course I will play c4 now or like a move later, but c4 is not the only move I can play here. Move is also as well, if you want, knight to f3 and then play c4. But I decided I will play c4 now. I expected the move knight to b6, but once again he played a weird move. He played knight to e7. And in the Aliechin defense, in these kinds of positions, you must develop queen's knight first and then you develop this knight. So I played knight c3, logical move, and now again he played a really bad move, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but it was surprising in any way. So he played knight to f5, moving his knight the fourth time in a row, or the third time, I'm not sure. And then I developed my king's knight to f3, knight f3, logical move. Once again, he didn't develop any of his pieces, but he played h6. He was playing very quickly, and I was thinking that he is still in a prep and I'm gonna completely get outplayed from the opening, but then I calm myself down because I have this big massive pawn center. I have more pieces developed than he does. I have 2 knights out, he has only 1 knight out, and now I'm ready to play bishop to d3, getting ready to castle short. Here he played bishop to b4, again very strange move. Normally this dark square bishop belongs on e7 and maybe trying to play f6 or c5 later. So he played bishop b5, I just castled, and again he played top engine move, but it's for humans it looks very dumb, if I'm honest. He gave me the bishop pair right away. And of course I took the knight. And this pawn structure is very good. I have now 4 pawns in the center of the board. I'm ready to play d5, and after the trade I will get this massive pawn center. Now he castled. I played the move queen to c4. The computer already thinks that g4 is very powerful here and it's trying to play g5, open up his king, but I wasn't even looking at g4. Now it looks completely reasonable, but I weaken my king as well. But I have an advantage of more pieces developed, and that's why I can start pushing my pawns to the enemy king. But I played queen to c2, creating this battery on this awesome diagonal. Here he played knight to h4, moving his knight, I don't know, 5th time in the opening. Of course I took it, and he took back with the queen. And his queen is kinda strange here, but I was like 20 minutes down on the clock up to this point. And the next move is pretty bad, if I'm honest. I should have developed this bishop like to e3 or even to a3, getting a tempo on the enemy rook. But here I played this move d5, which is pretty natural, but is not as good. And as you can see from the evaluation bar, I lose quite a big part of my advantage. Of course, my idea was after he takes, I will take back with my c-pawn, creating this awesome center. I'll play c4, maybe f4, f5, and I will completely win the game in few moves. But of course, that didn't happen. He didn't take my pawn on d5, but he played this move d6, which is completely logical, trying to exchange these two pawns. And if I take, he would take back with the c-pawn, and he would have two pawns in the center. And now, once again, I should have played bishop to a3, creating this pin on the rook, but I played natural move as well. I played the rook to e1, with the idea after takes, I would take back with my rook, activating it, and maybe putting it back on e3 and h3 or g3. But he didn't take. After rook e1, he played knight to d7. And now he's attacking my pawn twice, with, of course, with his pawn on d6 and his knight being on d7. But now I played the best move, and you can try to see what I played. And I played bishop to a3. This might seem like a blunder, like I'm losing this pawn on e5, like he can take with the knight. And the point being of this move is I'm creating a pin against his rook. But one could argue that after knight takes e5, which didn't happen actually, but if he would take on e5, I would take back with the rook, and after d takes e5, I wouldn't recapture this rook, but I have this intermezzo move, try to find which. Of course, the move is bishop to h7, and now the king must sidestep, and I would take this rook, and I would be a piece up. But as you can see from the evil bar, it's only plus 0.9, and that's why, cause now the best move in the position is ed5. I would take back with my c-pawn, and now black has this very annoying move, bishop to d7, attacking my bishop. And if I move it back to a3, let's say, now black has this move g6, and this bishop is hanging. Now he has to take the pawn on g6, he would recapture my bishop, and I would take his pawn. And this endgame, although I'm up a pawn, I have better position, but these two pawns are a little bit weak, cause his queen can, I don't know, go to c4 attacking my two pawns, and it's unclear, if I say so. So after bishop to a3, he played the best move once again. He played knight to c5, attacking my bishop. And here I made a mistake. Of course, I should have asked myself which piece is better, his knight or my bishop, and the answer should be clear. My bishop is way better than his knight. And I should ask the same question for this bishop. What about this bishop? Is this bishop better than his knight? And the answer is no, actually. Because this bishop doesn't have really a clear plan or future. Maybe it can go back to c1 and to e3, but the best move here is to take this knight. Of course, damaging the pawn structure and getting rid of the pressure on my light square bishop. And I didn't play the move, I played the move rook a to b1, putting my rook on the semi-open file. And now the best move in the position for my opponent is of course to take my bishop on d3. I would recapture and the position would be completely equal. But he played a strange move. He played b6, trying to get his bishop to b7 or even to a6 maybe. And just maybe if I would have taken this knight here, he might as well take with the b pawn, although this is a little bit strange. So here I played rook to e3. Of course, the idea is to rook lift, to play rook h3 or rook g3, putting incredible pressure on black king, but he took my pawn. And now the best move in the position is not actually to take this free pawn, but once again to take his knight first, because this knight is really annoying. And after he would take, he would have these two pawns, and these double pawns would be kinda weak. And now I recapture. So after rook e3, he took the pawn, as I said, but I just recaptured with rook takes e5. And now once again, the best move for black is to take my bishop on e3. But of course he didn't play this. Oh wait, I'm sorry. After rook to e3, he didn't took this pawn, but he took this pawn. I'm sorry. He played ed5. I'm sorry. And after ed5, once again the best move is to take his knight, but I played cd5, and he played rook e8. I played rook b e1, and now he took this pawn. Of course, once again, the best move is to take his knight, because my bishop is really bad on a3 because of this knight and a pawn anchoring knight on c5. I just recaptured the pawn, he took my rook, and I recaptured. Now he should play bishop to d7, putting pressure on this pawn. And after bishop to b7 and c4, we get this position right here. And now my opponent played a very good move, actually, which wasn't knight takes d3, but he played this tricky queen to d4. Now, it's not great move, it is bad if I am completely honest, but only one move here proves the advantage to white, because he's attacking my bishop twice with his queen and his knight, and he's attacking the rook. Now the only good move for white, you can try to find this idea, is to play bishop to h7. He will play king to h8, and then you can play bishop b2, and the queen cannot take this bishop. But I played the only other move that doesn't lose us. I played the rook to e3, defending my bishop, and here he has to take this this bishop, I'm sorry, with his knight. That's the only move that doesn't gives a big advantage to white. But here he played bishop to a6, which was really strange to me. Of course, he is putting pressure on the c4 pawn, but now I have this move bishop to b2, which I played. Now he played the move queen to h4. Now I have this idea of rook lift. That's why this rook came to e3 in first place. I played rook to g3, attacking this pawn on g7. And now he played the losing move. He played the move f6. And only one move wins for white. I challenge you to find this move, which I didn't. You can pause the video and try to find the move for white. And I'm gonna tell you, it's bishop to h7. Of course, when you see the move, you know what the idea is. After king h8, you play queen to g6, threatening the mate. And he cannot play a rook to g8 because I just take it. So he has to give up his queen. With queen takes g3, you would recapture with the h pawn and you would have completely winning position. But I didn't found this idea of bishop h7 followed by queen to g6. So I played, as you could see, rook to h3. Still, white is better. White is playing for an advantage. But here he played queen f4. I played rook to f3. Oh no, I'm sorry. I played g3. Yes, of course, that's the... Yes, here rook f3 would be still... I'm sorry, pretty good. But as you could see, I played the move g3. And I was calculating that he needs to retreat back to g6, which is not true at all. I calculated that if he goes to f3, his queen gets trapped, which is complete nonsense. And queen f3 is the most active and the best move in the position. But I calculated that after queen f3, I will show that bishop e2 traps the queen, which is complete nonsense. After bishop e2, I thought queen is trapped, which is if there would be bishop here and queen would be under attack. But now when bishop moved to e2, now the queen has this square on e4, which I just haven't seen, defending by the knight. So this was another bad move, g3, and of course after g3 was played, this rook is left behind. It has no future. It is almost trapped. It has only 2 squares to go, and it is completely out of the game. I will have to play like rook h4 and then rook e4 or something, I don't know. I'm sorry. And here he didn't play the best move. He retreated his queen to d6, and now once again bishop h7 was the best move, and after king to h8 I would have played rook h4 and then trying to, I don't know, play here and back to this idea. But I didn't play bishop h7. After queen d6 I played this move bishop to c1. That's a bad move. That's a bad move. But I thought I'm kinda after, I don't know, rook d8, let's say, waiting move, that I'm threatening to take this pawn, which is kinda true, because I have at least perpetual check here, but he has queen to e5, and the computer shows a draw. So after bishop to c1, of course the best move in that position is to take my bishop on d3, and he did, in fact, take my bishop on d3. I recaptured, and he put the rook on the open e-file, threatening to win my bishop due to the double attack on the king and the bishop at the same time. So in this position I played bishop e3, the best move, and for this endgame it's really important then that these bishops are opposite colors. And when there are heavy pieces on the board, like queens and rooks, and opposite colored bishops, which in fact they are, the side which is attacking the enemy king has the advantage. Because if you are attacking, you can attack with this bishop color complex that the defending bishop cannot defend, logically. So if I would be the one attacking, I would be better. And if my opponent was the one attacking and I was the one defending, I would be worse. And due to my rook on h3, I'm kinda passive and waiting for him to attack me, which is bad in this kind of endgames. So he played queen to e5, and here I should have played like rook h4, trying to play rook f4 or rook g4. But I played queen to g6, threatening all these, I don't know, bishop h6 ideas because of this pin on the g7 pawn. And here he can just take this pawn, and after I take his pawn, let's just put that on the board after bishop c4 and bishop h6, he has mate in 4. He has mate in 4. He can play queen e1, followed by king g2, king f1, king f3, and bishop to e2, followed by queen to f2 checkmate, as you can see. So my opponent haven't seen that, and after queen to g6, he played queen to e4, offering a trade of queens. And the only move that doesn't give black winning advantage is to take his queen. But I was really worrying here that after this trade, let's just put this on the board, these two pawns are very weak. Of course, c5, and I don't know, he can just play like rook e5 and take this pawn. But after, I don't know, rook e5, I have this move, rook h4, going for activity. And after rook takes pawn, I will play rook to a4. And that's the idea. I get this rook into the action. But I haven't seen this, so after queen e4, I played queen to h5, trying to make some sacrifices work in this position, but he just played rook to e5, which was kind of strange because I get some counterplay, some chances to draw after queen d1. Of course, the position is lost after queen to c4, and after bishop to c4, the position is not as bad as you would think. Because I have this move rook h4, sacrificing yet another pawn, but getting some chances because now I play this sequence of moves. After rook h4, he takes my pawn on d5, but I played rook to d4, putting pressure on the queen. So queen retreated to c6, and I played queen to c2, creating this pin. And now he played b5. Now I played a4. Of course, he cannot take due to rook to c4 winning his bishop. So he played a6. I'm sorry. And now I played queen to g6, looking for some counterplay. And he played bishop to f7 here, attacking my queen. And I played the move queen to g4. He played now rook d5, and now, as you can see from the evil bar, I am back to being better. Pause the video, try to find the answer of this puzzle, of this position. What is the best move in the position? Because you can see that this pawn is hanging due to the pin, but the question is, do you take his rook first, or do you play bishop to h6 first? I played rook d5 first. As you can see, this is the losing mistake, because after bishop to h6, he would has to defend this mate strat. Then now after something like g5, I have this move queen to c8, and now he has to play like queen e8, and he's lost because I just take his rook. Maybe he wins my bishop in the corner, but I will have an exchange up and we have a winning position. Because after king to h7, as you can see, queen to f8 leads to checkmate on g7. You cannot defend against this threat. So after bishop h6 first, I was completely winning. But after a rook takes d5, and he took back with the queen, which is not the best move, it's not the best move. But anyway, after bishop to h6, which I played, now he has this move g6. I have some chances here, but I was very low on time. I had like 10 minutes, and I played the losing mistake once again. I played queen to c8 check, he played king to h7, and I instantly played queen to f8, threatening the same kind of a mate on g7. But the truth is that my opponent can mate me first. After queen to 1, I'm forced to go to g2, and after bishop to d5, I played f3 and I resigned this position, because after queen f3 I have to play king h3, and queen to h5 is checkmate due to this bishop, and my king cannot escape via g2. So I was playing this game very bad. I made a lot of mistakes as well as my opponent, but the crucial point was for me not taking his knight, like, I don't know, in 18 here, for example. When it was my move, I played rook b e1, but I should have just took this Knight after dc5, I get an amazing center, amazing position. I play c4, rook b e1, I play rook h3 and checkmate his king. That's it. But I was like, I don't want to give up my bishop pair. His knight isn't as good as my dark sword bishop, which is a complete nonsense because his knight was way better than my useless bishop. So that's why I lost this game. That was the strategic standpoint, but I lost it mostly because of my tactical awareness, like this move g3, or after f6, if I would play bishop h7, he would resign in next 3 moves. So, tough game for me. I lost quite a bit of rating points, but anyway, I hope you learned something from this video and that you will play better. Thanks for being here. Subscribe if you like my Road to GM series and see you in another video. Bye guys!